you guys haven't already started to log in, please go ahead and start to log in on your machine. Start to log in on your machine. This is the part of class that takes the longest. asking me how can I get my grade up in here because they kind of messed up on the show. If you ever mess up on a show, you can always team up with another group, and you have to be physically like involved with them creating their particular show in order to get your grade back up. So there were some people that like didn't do a show. They were asking like, hey, what can I do to kind of get my grade back up? You have to, another group has to allow you to join their group. And I guess we have everyone here. I guess we have everyone already on their stuff. But another group has to allow you to help them with their show in order for you to kind of get your grade back up for that. That'll be like a makeup for messing up on another show and stuff like that. So basically, the more you get involved, the more chances you have at boosting your grade here in class. And I think we've done all that. I think we're good enough. Okay, let me see here. Let me pull up the video that I did yesterday on here. This is a video of me actually going through. You'll see my hat change from being a blue to a to my other one that I have. And I will, again, walk you through some steps on how to start creating sound effects for Among Us. I'm still here in class wandering around, trying to make sure that you guys are in on all of your computers, because I want to be sure that you guys are set up and good to go. So if you have questions, you can still kind of pop them up on the computers and I can see it. This is about 20 minutes, I think, of me doing a tutorial on how to do stuff inside of Garageband. Take it for what it's worth. Zealous in the chat will tell you whether or not I'm good or bad compared to Ruiz when it comes to creating stuff audio-wise. So, you know, take his word for it, not mine, on whether or not I was actually good at teaching you guys Garageband. But I think this will help you guys out quite a bit, and we'll see where it goes. Hey, Coffee, can you log into your computer, please? Because you now finally have all of your Student of the Month stuff on the desktop. Judge and executioner. Well, that makes me, that's good luck to me then. It sounds like you've already made your decision as to who's better at teaching audio, myself or Ruiz. I guess I'm about to be executed in my own class. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Coffee, no, seriously, the log into your computer, because Student of the Month, everything from Student of the Month is literally up there now. So I can walk you through that as we get closer to the end of class. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and get started with this video of me attempting to teach. Oh my gosh, Caprizzle joining late. Every time I'm about to hit play. Every time I'm about to hit play. You gotta ask. You gotta ask. It doesn't say that you requested remote control, Caprizzle. I gave it to you, but you didn't request remote control. You gotta request that remote control. You gotta request that remote control. There we go. This should be good now, by the way. Okay, cool. Now we can go ahead and get started. Jeez Louise, all these late people come in. All right, here we go. You're not going to hear me anymore. Instead, you're going to hear me from 24 hours ago. Here we go. Okay, so here's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be, like I said, working inside of GarageBand today. So if you can, go ahead and open it up on your desktop computer. I'm going to go ahead and transition over to mine. It should be located down inside of your dock, down here at the bottom of the screen. It is an icon that looks like a guitar with an amplifier. So you can go ahead and click on that, and that will open up GarageBand for you, and you guys will be confronted with this particular screen. This will be fun. Okay. On this particular screen, you will choose, you can see you have a bunch of different options you can choose from. You can literally learn to play different things. There's guitar lessons, there's literally piano lessons. There's different stuff that you can actually go through and use inside of GarageBand. We're going to start with just an empty project. There are normally project templates you can pull from, like if you want to do a hip-hop track, it'll start off different than a voice track. A songwriter track will start off different than a keyboard track, and so on and so forth. But we're just going to start with the new project for today, just to kind of start out with our stuff. You can see we can adjust our tempo. Our tempo is how fast or how slow our song is going to go. Currently it is set for 120 beats per minute. So if you want to know what that is, that's 2 beats every second. That's how you can figure that out, because it's beats per minute. So you just take this number, divide it by 60, and that's how many taps you'll get every second. What you can do is if you decide you want your own tempo, if you don't want just 120 beats per minute, if you want to do something, if you're like listening to a song in the background and you want to time it out based on how fast or slow the bass or the kick or whatever else is going based on your own tempo, you can actually tap the tempo. So I can just go click, 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 and you can see that it'll automatically make some adjustments. So if I start clicking really fast, you can see it'll automatically adjust my tempo tapping based on the average of my clicks and how fast I'm clicking. Okay, so you can do that, or you can just adjust the slider to adjust things manually. I'm going to start out at 120, or you can even type it in if you wanted to as well. Whoopsie, that's what I get. That's what you get when you let your, there we go. Anyways, you can also choose your key signature. Usually you guys will want to start in the key of C or in the key of E. The reason why you want to start in the key of C or E, C is pretty natural. The key of E is typically a lighter, heartier, happier sound. If you're looking for starting something in the key signature of A, it'll typically be more depressing when you start that out. Anyways, so and then your input device will be whatever your microphone is or whatever you're using to input stuff in. If you guys are at home and you have a MIDI controller, you can choose your MIDI controller from here. I can even input my microphone that I'm using right now as an input, but I'm just using my display audio because I don't need to really worry about that. Output device is where the project is being outputted. Most of the time for you guys, it should just be your system settings. For me, I have to do multi-output device because you guys have to hear it through OBS, and I have to hear it inside of the classroom right here. Okay, so that's the basics of setting up our GarageBand, GarageBand stuff. Okay, let's go ahead and get started and push this a little bit further. So I'm going to choose. And I will be opened up to this particular page. Okay. Once we open up here, it's going to ask us what we want to start with our first instrument, what our first instrument is that we want to start with. Again, we talked about software instruments being real instruments or a piano that you can actually utilize and manipulate, something that utilizes actual notes and musical notation. That's what software instrument is for. Audio is for if you're recording a podcast, so you'd have this microphone over here if you're recording a podcast, or if you have an instrument like a MIDI device, a guitar, a bass, something you want to hook up to the computer and you have some sort of interface, you would use the audio because this is just recording sound, right? We're not doing musical notation, so green is musical notation, blue is recording sound, and then yellow is our drummer. This is the thing that's going to keep our tempo, keep our beat, be able to change things up if we want to. We're going to start out with a software instrument. Okay, and I'm going to choose Create. And fantastic, I have now created a software instrument. I'm not going to go over all the panels that are here inside of this window. We did that last year, and hopefully you guys have been able to have some time to play with GarageBand ever since then. If not, that's what these computers in the classroom are for. They're for you guys to be able to come in and be able to utilize them whenever it suits your needs. All you have to do is literally send me a message saying approve me on my computer, and as long as I see it from my phone, I can literally tap and let you in from my phone. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look here. I'm going to hit Command K. The reason why I'm going to hit Command K is because that is going to get my piano to pop up, right? And this will always start in the middle C range of your piano. So for those of you that know how to play piano, awesome. You'll see it'll always start here in your middle C range. If you would like to switch it or slide it down, you can use the slider to slide it up or slide it down. So you can find your correct octaves, find your correct range that you want to start with. But this will have all the notes here available to you inside of that particular range. If you hit Command K again, by the way, you'll see that your keyboard goes away. So if some of you don't have it up there, it's probably because it was probably already up there and you hit Command K and you lost it. For me, I had to bring it back up because I closed it from before. Okay, so anyways, you can see you can click on these different notes. Okay, you can click on the notes, or you can click on the letters associated with those notes. So you can see A, S, D, and F are located on the keyboard, and I can hit that. Right? Cool, fantastic, very, very simple. A couple of chords that every person should know if you're going to be putting stuff together are E, C, and G. So this is C, but it sounds very, very distorted right now because I'm using a classical electric piano. So the first thing I want to do before I really jump into this stuff is change this to grand piano. Okay, and so the way you're going to change it to grand piano is you're going to come over here on the side where your library window is. If you don't have a library window, if it looks like this, come up here and hit this button. That'll open up your library window. You'll go down to where it says piano, and then you'll choose Steinway grand piano, and you'll see that it changes the instrument here. So now when I hit my C chord, you can actually hear it sound like an actual chord, right? By the way, C chord is A, D, and G. on your keyboard if you want to utilize that particular chord. If you want to know which each of the chords are, you can go online really quickly and just look up different chords, and it'll be able to roll together pretty simply for people that don't know how to play piano. So I'm just going to record a C chord. Okay, I'm just going to record a C chord here really quick. Now, when I hit the record button, watch what happens. Actually, listen to what happens. You're going to start hearing that ticking in the background because I have my metronome turned on. Okay, so if you want to turn off your metronome, if you don't want to keep in time, your metronome keeps your 120 beats per minute or whatever it is you set your BPM, your beats per minute to before you start the project. It's going to keep that time in rhythm. If you want to turn it off, you can come up here and click on this, and that turns it off. Okay, so now when I go and record, I'm able to record it, not have any issues, not have any problems with setting any of that stuff up, right? So I just got done recording 2 C chords, and you guys can record C chords into your project if you wish right now. Or you can record any other notes, any other notations that you want to. But I wanted you just to kind of see the difference that you'd get just based off of that musical notation. Now, because we're using green tracks and we're using musical notation tracks, we can change this, or we can keep the same sound, but we can change the instrument. So this is what it sounds like right now for the piano. All right, very simplistic. But if I want to change this to a guitar, I can come over here and choose guitar, and I can choose acoustic guitar. It'll keep my C chord in there, except now when I play the note, or when the note is played, it strums on a guitar instead of a piano. Okay? This is going to become really, really important, especially as you start to develop your sound effects, because you can create musical notes but then change and articulate, and even you can do some arpeggio type stuff with your notations to kind of change the way it actually feels and come across inside of GarageBand. So if you've been trained on a classic piano or a grand piano, you guys will be able to take those musical notations and change them into electronica and be able to still have something that sounds remotely musical in nature, but it's very, very, very technology driven. So that's something I wanted you guys to kind of keep in mind. And by the way, anytime this note plays, if you're recording stuff, so let me see here, if I wanted to record a separate track, you'll see that this note actually appears right up here in the middle of the screen, right? And so if I move over, you can see I have a D minor, and then I have my E minor, and so on and so forth. So anytime you actually play a note, the musical notation will pop up here in the middle of the screen for you as you're putting some of that stuff together. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to take this particular track, right? I want to take this C chord, and I want to distort it a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this track, instead of it being an acoustic guitar, I'm going to go down and change it to a synthesizer. And inside of my synthesizer, you can see I have a bunch of different options. I can use like an EDM bass, I can use a pad, I can use a soundscape, but I'm going to start out just with bass. And I'm going to use an agile synth bass, right? And so it's going to take my C chord, and now it's going to change what that sounds like. Right? And so you can kind of see how it kind of creates almost like a mood effect and so on and so forth, but it sounds very, very dry. So what I can do from here is I can go down to, I can make sure that this button right here, my smart controls, is turned on, which will bring up this down here down at the bottom. And you'll see that I have a couple of different options inside of here. I can change and adjust the EQ. I can kind of transform this a little bit to make it either make it sound brighter or make it sound heavier. I can adjust the controls where I can increase the cutoff range so it won't cut off so drastically. Or you can do some other stuff like that. All right, Lancelot, you said there's something weird with your audio, so hold on one second. Let me go ahead and I'll head over there in just 1 second to take a look at that. But you can start to see that there's some adjustments that you can make to these different sounds and stuff, right? So what I can do is I can come in here and take up the resonance, and I can take up the cutoff, and watch how different now this sound comes through. right? So you can start to see how you can kind of start creating different sound effects just by using a C chord that you would normally know if you were playing the piano on a regular piano. Okay? Now, why is this important and good to know? Okay, hold on. I'll be over there in 1 second. There's a reason why. I can go over that with you in just 1 second. Give me 1 second. Why is this good for you to know? Let me go over my things. The reason why this is good for you to know is because if you want to create or begin to generate sound effects, you can do so by adjusting or changing the instrument in which you're using. Whoops. The instrument which you're using, and then adjusting some of the master controls, right? Right? So you can see you can begin to articulate some of the ranges and be able to adjust different things based off of just the notation. When you get really, really good, and you get good enough at it, you can actually change some sound effects into, or change musical notations into sound effects. And so that's what I'm going to show you right here. Actually, let's not go full screen. Let's just leave this right here. That's what I'm going to show you right here when it comes to doing or putting stuff together for like Among Us. So here's some GarageBand sound effects, or some Among Us sound effects that were made or changed inside of GarageBand. Right? So you can start to change and create very, very interesting different sounds just based on using GarageBand and adjusting different sounds for different sound effects and stuff. So we're going to spend the rest of class today going through and utilizing as much as we possibly can GarageBand to synthesize and begin to create different sound effects. I'm going to go around here actually in just a second to kind of help people adjust some certain things on the computer. But I wanted you guys to start to see how that stuff was kind of played together, and I want you to play and start creating different sound effects. And the main reason why I want you guys to start playing and creating and generating different sound effects is because I want to see what you guys can come up with, especially in time for Halloween, to see how you guys can adjust or utilize sound to help inform some of the decisions that you make when it comes to making your films. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and come around and see if I can adjust some things, because I know some people are having some issues or some problems. I'm going to go ahead and put music on in the background. I'm going to talk to you on your own machines if you guys are having problems. Today, go around and play and begin to play with GarageBand. And then if I end up having questions or comments or anything like that for the entire class, don't listen to this, man. Again, you'll see me go full screen up here. That'll be your visual view. Other than that, this is what we're working on. Probably for the last like 30, 40 minutes of class for today. This man knows nothing. Don't listen to him anymore. Anyways, okay, so we still definitely do have issues with people not being able to hear their audio. If you guys are having issues not hearing your audio, you can always change under your under system preferences and audio. You can go under and click change your sound device to headphones, and make sure that inside of GarageBand your sound device is set to system settings. So some people had some issues, issues and problems hearing stuff through Zoom. That might be one of the issues. But I'll be able to go around and help you with that here in just 1 second. The last thing I wanted to show you guys that I did not go over with the group yesterday was what you can do inside of GarageBand. So up until this point, I have been trying to tell you guys that if you guys are working on your video, you can work on sound in GarageBand, export your audio out, and then put it back inside of Final Cut Pro. That is not necessarily the case. The main reason why I've been having you guys do that is because some people have been taking or want to make their sound effects and make their sound along with their video and aren't using just a finalized video product. However, if your video is done, all except for the sound, what you can actually do is take an MP4 from your desktop, or take your video out from your desktop, drag it, and actually drop it down into the timeline here for GarageBand. And you'll see that when you do, it shouldn't be taking this long. should not be taking that long because that definitely did not drop in there. Oh, it did drop in there correctly. You can actually drop your video in there, and you can adjust. Mute this. You can adjust, or you can create your sound effects to be timed out exactly with your video. So you can see this little video thing that popped up right here, and that was because I dragged my finalized video over into GarageBand, and I can actually start creating sound effects alongside my video. Now, this only works if your video is finalized, if your timing is set for your video, because now you're going to go back over it and add in sound effects and add in stuff over the top of it and so on and so forth. So keep that in mind as you guys are creating stuff, but it's a good way for you to actually bring your stuff back in and be able to time align your sound effects, time align your music, time align all your stuff that you need specifically for your particular video. So everything is aligned via time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys from now until the end of class, it's about 30 minutes to continue to work on stuff. I'm going to go back around on computers because I know some people were having issues and problems on hearing their sound. So I'm going to go check and see if we can figure out how to adjust some of those things. Zealous, how did I do? Am I a regular Ruiz? By the way, Notable Titan, I'll be over on your machine. You just have to tell me the name that's on the desktop. If you minimize everything, you'll see a name on the desktop. Just tell me which name that you're on. And then I will be able to go around and adjust stuff on that computer. But hopefully Zealous is, we don't use GarageBand, but I guess you can live. Okay, cool. Edison, cool. I'll be over there at Edison in just 1 second. Anyways, I'm going to put up some music on the screen. Have you guys work on stuff for the rest of class for today? Whoops. I'm around. If you guys need something, pop it down in the chat so that way I can hear it. Or not hear it, I can see it. And I'll come around to your machines. I got to still work on stuff with Star Luna, but then I'll head over to Notable Titan. Yes, I know Logic. Yes, I know Logic. You have Pro Tools as well. By the way, each of these machines do have Logic. Don't tell anyone. remember, as you guys are remaking your sounds and stuff, like something just to kind of keep in mind is you want to try and make sound effects. Don't just keep remaking remaking other sounds and stuff like that. Change things up, change it around. Irony of this song coming on. Just a reminder, guys, if you ever have problems or issues, you can always open up TextEdit, or you can open up some other text software and just make it really big on the screen for me to see. Also, you have to request remote control. I don't see, because I don't see you waiting in a waiting room anymore, unless you were a TA today. But people shouldn't wait in waiting rooms anymore, so you have to request control before I see the fact that you're actually seeing the screen. So just a quick reminder about that. right, I am taking off online for everyone. I will see you guys later on. We still have about 10 minutes left in class, but there's no need for me to be online. I'll still be in the chat, so if you guys still need to say something in the chat, that's fine. The script for Friday's show always gets released at 4 o'clock the night before. Notable technique, 4 o'clock the night before. So it'll be on Thursday about 4 o'clock. All right, take care, guys. I will see you on Friday.